Welcome to Triumphant Over Trauma, where resilience reigns and women rewrite their stories of victory after trauma. I'm Gina, your guide on this empowering journey. With a mission to help women overcome trauma, I'm here to inspire you to cultivate a positive mindset, embrace self-love, and find peace. Join me as we celebrate strength, reclaim power, and triumph over adversity together. What if every time you said yes when you really wanted to say no, you were slowly abandoning the very person you were trying so hard to become? Sit with that for a moment. Because many women have been taught that love looks like sacrifice, that kindness looks like compliance, that being a good woman means being available, accommodating, understanding, patient, selfless, and endlessly giving. We've been praised for carrying burdens that were never ours, celebrated for tolerating what we should have never had to endure, applauded for pouring from cups that were already empty. And somewhere along the way, many women began confusing self-abandonment with love. But what if love was never supposed to cost you yourself? What if one of the greatest acts of self-love wasn't learning how to give more, but learning where to stop? What if boundaries aren't walls? What if they're doors? Doors that teach people how to enter your life respectfully. Doors that protect your peace. Doors that preserve your energy. Doors that honor your healing. Today, we're talking about boundaries, the love language of women who are done settling. Women who are no longer willing to trade their peace for approval. Women who are no longer willing to shrink to make others comfortable. Women who are no longer willing to abandon themselves to avoid disappointing someone else. But before we begin, I want to invite you somewhere. A place where you can exhale. A place where your nervous system can soften. A place where you can remember what it feels like to belong to yourself. Imagine yourself on a warm summer afternoon, the kind of afternoon where time seems to slow down. The sky stretches endlessly above you in brilliant shades of blue. The sun glows like liquid gold, casting warmth across the landscape. You are resting comfortably in a hammock suspended between two beautiful trees. The hammock sways gently beneath you. Back and forth, back and forth. Each movement feels like a soft reminder that you don't have to carry everything today. The warmth of the sun kisses your skin, not harshly, not demandingly, just enough to remind you that you are alive. That you are here, that you are worthy of taking up space. A gentle breeze brushes against your cheeks. It carries the sweet scent of wildflowers blooming nearby. Fresh cut grass, warm earth. A hint of honeysuckle dancing through the air. You breathe deeply, and for a moment, it feels as though the world is breathing with you. Your toes graze the soft green grass beneath the hammock. The blades tickle your skin as they sway in the breeze. The earth feels steady beneath you, grounded, supportive, unshaken, just like the woman you are becoming. Listen closely. You can hear birds singing from the treetops, a joyful chorus that asks for nothing and apologizes for nothing. You hear the gentle rustling of leaves overhead, the distant laughter of children playing somewhere nearby, the rhythmic hum of bees moving from flower to flower. Everything around you is simply existing, as it was created to exist. The flowers bloom, the birds sing, the trees stand tall, the butterflies drift effortlessly from blossom to blossom. None of them apologize for their nature. None of them seek permission to take up space. And perhaps there is a lesson in that. As you continue resting there, you notice a beautiful garden just beyond the hammock. Rows of vibrant flowers stretch toward the sunlight. Roses, lavender, sunflowers, and wildflowers, each growing within its own space, each rooted firmly in the soil, each flourishing because healthy boundaries exist. The roses are not trying to become sunflowers. The lavender is not abandoning its place to make room for every weed that appears. The garden thrives because every plant understands where it begins and where it ends. And suddenly you realize something. Boundaries are not limitations. They are conditions for growth. The garden does not thrive because everything is allowed unlimited access. It thrives because healthy boundaries protect what matters. The same is true for you. Your peace needs protection. Your energy needs protection. Your healing needs protection. Your dreams need protection. Your future needs protection. And perhaps that is what boundaries truly are. Not punishments, not rejection, not selfishness, but protection. Protection for the life you are working so hard to create. As you continue gazing at the garden, a butterfly lands gently on a sunflower nearby. Its wings shimmer in the sunlight, graceful, strong, free. And as it lifts into the air once again, you realize that growth and freedom are often born from the same decision. The decision to stop settling. The decision to stop shrinking. The decision to stop betraying yourself in order to keep everyone else comfortable. Because every woman who transforms her life eventually reaches a moment where she understands this truth. You can love people deeply and still have boundaries. You can be kind and still say no. You can be compassionate and still protect your peace. You can be generous and still honor your limits. You can have a beautiful heart without giving everyone unlimited access to it. And perhaps the most powerful realization of all is this. Every boundary you set is not a rejection of others. It is a declaration of self-respect, a declaration that your needs matter too. Your feelings matter too. Your healing matters too. Your life matters too. So today I want us to explore what becomes possible when a woman stops settling for less than she deserves and starts treating boundaries as one of the highest forms of self-love. Because boundaries aren't barriers to connection. They're the foundation of healthy connection. And when you finally learn to honor your own boundaries, something beautiful happens. You stop abandoning yourself. And that, my friend, is where everything begins to change. So settle into this moment. Take a deep breath. Allow your shoulders to soften. And let's talk about why boundaries may be the most loving thing you'll ever give yourself. Let's stay in that garden for a moment. Imagine walking through it. Notice how every flower has room to grow. Every root has room to expand. Every bloom has access to the sunlight it needs. Nothing is fighting for survival. Nothing is constantly overextending itself. Nothing is apologizing for taking up space. And yet somehow many women have been taught that they should. Many women have been taught that being loving means being endlessly available. That being kind means saying yes when they want to say no. That being a good friend, partner, daughter, mother, employee, or caregiver means placing everyone else's needs ahead of their own. And for a while, that may even earn them praise. People appreciate the woman who never asked for much, the woman who always says yes, the woman who carries the load, the woman who sacrifices herself for everyone else. But eventually, there comes a cost. Because every time you repeatedly abandon yourself to keep someone else comfortable, you send your nervous system a message. My needs are less important. My feelings are less important. My limits are less important. My peace is less important. And over time, something begins to happen. Resentment grows. Exhaustion grows. Burnout grows. Disconnection grows. Not because you're selfish, but because your soul was never designed to thrive on self-abandonment. One of the greatest misconceptions about boundaries is that they are primarily about controlling other people. They aren't. Boundaries are not about changing someone else's behavior. They are about honoring your values. They are not demands. They are decisions. They are not punishments. They are protections. Boundaries communicate something powerful. This is how I choose to care for myself. And every healthy boundary strengthens two things that trauma often damages: self-respect and self-trust. Self-respect is not something you magically wake up with one day. It is something you build, choice by choice, boundary by boundary. Every time you honor a limit, you reinforce the belief that you matter. Every time you say no to something that harms your peace, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy of protection. Every time you stop settling for crumbs, you reinforce the belief that you deserve more. The truth is, people often learn how to treat us by watching how we treat ourselves. If we consistently ignore our own needs, others often learn to ignore them too. If we constantly override our own limits, others often learn to expect unlimited access. Self-respect begins the moment you decide that your needs belong at the table too. Many women healing from trauma struggle with trusting themselves, not because they're incapable, but because they've spent years overriding their instincts, ignoring the red flags, suppressing emotions, second-guessing their intuition, prioritizing everyone else's opinions over their own inner knowing. And every time that happens, self-trust weakens. But every time you honor a boundary, self-trust actually strengthens. You begin proving to yourself, I will protect me. I will listen to me. I will honor what I need. And trust is built through the evidence. The more evidence you collect that you'll show up for yourself, the more self-trust grows. Here's where many women get stuck. They fear the boundaries will push people away. They fear being seen as difficult, selfish, cold, unkind. But healthy relationships don't crumble because of healthy boundaries. They become stronger because of them. Boundaries create clarity, honesty, safety. Boundaries remove guesswork and resentment. Healthy people appreciate boundaries because boundaries create trust. Unhealthy people often resist boundaries because boundaries remove access they were never entitled to. And that distinction matters because boundaries don't destroy healthy relationships. They reveal them. The people who genuinely care about you may need time to adjust, but they will ultimately respect your growth. Those who only benefited from your lack of boundaries may struggle with the changes, and that doesn't make your boundary wrong. It simply reveals where the relationship was built, because love without boundaries often becomes sacrifice, but love with boundaries becomes sustainable. And that's why I want to introduce you to what I call the Roots Framework. 5 steps for building boundaries that honor your growth. Because just like the flowers in that summer garden, your life flourishes when your roots are healthy. Strong roots create strong boundaries. Strong boundaries create healthy relationships. And healthy relationships create room for you to bloom. Let's walk through the Roots Framework together. R. Recognize what you need. Everything begins with awareness. You cannot communicate a need that you haven't identified. Many women have become so accustomed to caring for everyone else that they've lost touch with themselves. So ask yourself, what drains my energy? What brings me peace? What feels supportive? What feels overwhelming? What am I tolerating that no longer aligns with the life I'm creating? Awareness is the first act of self-respect. O. Own your worth. Boundaries become difficult when we believe we must earn the right to have them. But boundaries are not earned. They are a reflection of your inherent worth. You don't need to justify your need to rest. You don't need to justify your need for respect. You don't need to justify your need for peace. You are worthy because you exist. And worthy people are allowed to have limits. O. Observe what the relationship reveals. Boundaries are powerful teachers. When you set one, pay attention. Notice who respects it. Notice who challenges it. Notice who adapts. Notice who manipulates. Notice who celebrates your growth. Notice who resents it. Boundaries reveal information, and information is a gift. T. Trust yourself enough to follow through. This is where boundaries become real. A boundary is not simply what you say. It's what you consistently honor. Following through teaches your nervous system something powerful. I mean what I say. I can rely on myself. I am safe with me. Every time you follow through, self-trust grows stronger. S. Stand firm with love. This final step is where many women discover their true power. You do not need to become harsh to have boundaries. You do not need to become angry to have boundaries. You do not need to become unkind to have boundaries. You can stand firm and remain loving. You can protect your peace and remain compassionate. You can honor your limits and remain connected. Because healthy boundaries are not about building walls. They are about building healthy doors. Doors that allow the right people in. Doors that protect what matters. Doors that create relationships rooted in respect rather than obligation. And that is the beauty of the Roots Framework. R. Recognize what you need. O. Own your worth. O. Observe what the relationship reveals. T. Trust yourself enough to follow through. S. Stand firm with love. Because boundaries are not a sign that you love others less. They are a sign that you are finally learning to love yourself too. And when a woman learns to honor her roots, she no longer settles for relationships that require her to abandon herself. She grows, she blooms, and she creates a life built on respect, trust, peace, and genuine connection. That, my friend, is where freedom begins. As we begin to close our time together today, I want to invite you into a moment of stillness, a moment to reconnect with yourself, a moment to remember that boundaries are not something you build against people. They are something you build for yourself. For the next few moments, allow yourself to simply be here. No fixing, no proving, no people pleasing, no carrying the weight of everyone else's expectations. Just breathe. Take a slow, deep breath in and gently release it. Again, breathing in peace, breathing out pressure, breathing in self-respect, breathing out self-abandonment. Allow your shoulders to soften, relax your jaw, unclench your hands. Let your body sink into this moment. Let your nervous system know that right here, right now, you are safe. You are supported. You are enough. Now imagine yourself standing at the entrance of a breathtaking summer garden. The sky above you is painted in brilliant shades of blue. The golden sun wraps everything in warmth. A soft breeze brushes against your skin. The scent of blooming lavender, roses, wildflowers, and fresh-cut grass drifts through the air. Birds sing from nearby trees. Butterflies dance effortlessly among the blossoms. The entire garden feels peaceful, alive, thriving. As you begin walking through the garden, notice how every flower has its own space. The roses are not competing with the sunflowers. The lavender is not apologizing for where it grows. The wildflowers are not shrinking to make room for everything else. Each one is rooted, grounded, secure. Each one understands where it begins and where it ends, and because of that, it flourishes. As you continue walking, you arrive at the center of the garden. There stands a magnificent tree, strong, beautiful, radiant. Its branches stretch high toward the summer sky. Its leaves shimmer in the sunlight. Its roots run deep into the earth. And as you move closer, you realize something. This tree represents you, the woman you are becoming, the woman who is learning to honor herself, the woman who is learning that love and boundaries can coexist, the woman who is learning that self-respect is not selfish. It's necessary. Walk toward the tree. Place your hand gently against its trunk. Feel its strength, its steadiness, its wisdom. Now imagine that your feet are becoming connected to the earth beneath you. Roots begin extending from the soles of your feet, down into the rich soil below, deeper and deeper and deeper still. These roots represent your self-respect, every boundary you've ever set, every time you've chosen yourself, every time you've spoken your truth, every time you've honored your needs, every time you've protected your peace, every time you've trusted your intuition. The roots grow stronger, wider, more grounded, and with every root that forms, you feel safer within yourself, more connected to yourself, more anchored in your self-worth. Now notice that a beautiful golden light begins flowing through the roots. The light travels upwards through the earth, into your feet, your legs, your heart, your entire body. This light is self-trust, the trust that says, I will listen to myself. I will honor my needs. I will protect my peace. I will not abandon myself. Feel that light filling every part of you. Notice how calm it feels, how steady it feels, how true it feels. Now imagine standing before you are several doors. Each door represents a relationship, a friendship, a family relationship, a work relationship, a romantic relationship, perhaps even the relationship you have with yourself. Take a moment to notice them. Notice which doors feel warm and welcoming. Notice which doors feel heavy. Notice which doors feel peaceful. Notice which doors feel draining. There is no judgment here, only awareness. Now imagine yourself holding a beautiful golden key. The key represents your boundaries, your choices, your voice, your right to decide who receives access to your time, energy, heart, and peace. As you approach each door, ask yourself, does this relationship honor my growth? Does this relationship respect my limits? Does this relationship support my healing? Does this relationship allow me to be fully myself? Some doors swing open easily. Others remain closed. And that's okay, because boundaries are not about keeping everyone out. They're about allowing the right people in. Now imagine returning to the tree at the center of the garden. The tree is glowing brighter than before. Its roots stronger than before. Its branches reaching higher than before. And suddenly you realize something. The tree has never apologized for taking up space. It has never felt guilty for having roots. It has never questioned whether it deserves sunlight. It simply grows. It simply stands. It simply honors its nature. And so can you. Place your hand over your heart. Take a deep breath and silently repeat after me. My needs matter. My peace matters. My healing matters. My boundaries matter. I am allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to have limits. I'm allowed to protect my energy. I'm allowed to choose myself. I can be loving and have boundaries. I can be kind and say no. I can honor others without abandoning myself. I trust myself. I respect myself. I honor myself. Take one final look at the beautiful tree before you. Notice its roots. Notice its strength. Notice its unwavering presence. And realize that everything you admire about that tree already exists within you. The strength, the wisdom, the resilience, the ability to stand firmly rooted in who you are. Take one final deep breath. Feel the warmth of the sun upon your skin. Feel the breeze moving through the garden. Feel the earth supporting you. Feel the roots beneath you. Feel the peace within you. And when you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to this moment, back to your breath, back to your body, back to the woman sitting here today. The woman who no longer needs to settle. The woman who is learning to trust herself. The woman who is learning to honor her worth. The woman whose roots are growing stronger every single day. As you begin bringing your awareness fully back into this moment, I want you to carry something with you. Not just the visualization, the framework, or the lessons. I want you to carry the feeling of being rooted, the feeling of knowing that your needs matter, the feeling of trusting yourself enough to honor what your heart has been trying to tell you all along. Because the truth is, boundaries are rarely about keeping people out. They're about finally letting yourself in. They're about creating a life where your peace is no longer negotiable. A life where your worth is no longer determined by how much you sacrifice. A life where your relationships are built on mutual respect rather than obligation. A life where you no longer have to choose between being loved and being yourself. And if today's conversation resonated with you, I want to gently encourage you to take one small step this week. Just one, not 10, not 20, just one. Maybe it's saying no without explaining yourself. Maybe it's asking for help. Maybe it's declining something that drains your energy. Maybe it's honoring a need you've been ignoring. Maybe it's having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's simply giving yourself permission to rest. Whatever that step is, trust it, because every healthy boundary begins with one courageous decision. The decision to believe that you matter too. And before we close, I want to leave you with a question to reflect on this week. Where in your life are you being asked to choose self-respect over self-sacrifice? Sit with that question. Journal about it. Pray about it. Notice what comes up. Notice where your heart leads you, because often the answer isn't hidden. It's simply waiting for us to listen. If today's episode spoke to your heart, I invite you to share it with another woman who may be struggling to honor her own boundaries. A woman who feels exhausted and overwhelmed. A woman who has spent so much time taking care of everyone else that she has forgotten how to care for herself. A woman who needs the reminder that boundaries are not selfish, they are sacred. If you're ready to deepen your healing journey, strengthen your self-worth, and learn how to build a life rooted in confidence, peace, and self-trust, I would be honored to support you. Whether through my book, Healing Beyond the Hurt, Turning Trauma into Triumph, my coaching programs, my podcast community, or the resources I've created for women healing from trauma. Know that you do not have to navigate this journey alone. There is support available. There is hope available. There is healing available. And there is an entire community of women learning how to choose themselves without guilt. Women who are discovering that boundaries are not the end of the connection. They are the beginning of a healthier connection. Women who are no longer settling for relationships that require self-abandonment. Women who are learning to trust their voice, honor their worth, and stand firmly rooted in who they are. And perhaps that woman is you. So as you move through the week ahead, remember this. You do not have to earn rest. You do not have to earn respect. You do not have to earn the right to take up space. You do not have to earn your worth. You already possess it. Take a deep breath. Trust your roots. Honor your limits. Protect your peace. And never forget that every boundary you set is an act of love. A love letter to yourself. A declaration that your healing matters. A promise that you will no longer abandon yourself to keep others comfortable. And with that, my beautiful friend, I want to leave you with this. May you remember that your boundaries are not barriers to love. They are the roots that allow love to grow in healthy soil. May you stop measuring your worth by how much you give away and start recognizing the value of what you choose to protect. May you trust that every time you honor your needs, you are teaching yourself that you matter. May you find the courage to say no to what diminishes your peace so that you can wholeheartedly say yes to what nourishes your soul. May you release the guilt that so often accompanies growth, the guilt of disappointing others, the guilt of choosing yourself, the guilt of no longer accepting what once felt familiar. And may you replace that guilt with grace. the grace to honor your limits, the grace to trust your intuition, the grace to understand that protecting your energy is not selfish, it is sacred. May you remember that healthy relationships do not require you to shrink. They do not demand your silence. They do not ask you to abandon yourself at the door. The people who truly love you will not fear your boundaries. They will honor them. Because real love is rooted in respect. Real love is rooted in honesty. Real love is rooted in freedom. Just like the strongest trees in the forest, may your roots grow deep. May they anchor you during life's storms. May they steady you when uncertainty arises. May they remind you who you are when the world tries to tell you otherwise. And may those roots nourish every dream, every boundary, every act of courage, and every beautiful chapter still waiting to unfold. When the summer sun warms your skin, may it remind you that you were never meant to hide your light. When the breeze moves through the trees, may it remind you that growth often begins when letting go. When the butterflies drift across your path, may they remind you that transformation is not only possible, it is already happening. And when you walk through gardens blooming in vibrant color, may you remember that every flower thrives because it honors the space it needs to grow. So may you give yourself the same gift, the gift of space, the gift of rest, the gift of truth, the gift of boundaries, the gift of becoming. Keep trusting your roots, honoring your worth, protecting your peace, and choosing yourself. And keep believing that the life you desire becomes possible the moment you stop settling for less than you deserve. Until next time, keep your face towards the sunshine, your roots planted firmly in self-love, and your heart open to the infinite possibilities that await you. Because every boundary you set is a declaration that your healing matters. Every boundary you honor is a promise that you will no longer abandon yourself. And every boundary you keep is another step toward the life, the love, and the peace that have been waiting for you all along. Thank you for being here with me today. This is Gina, signing off. Thank you for tuning in to Triumphant Over Trauma, where resilience prevails and women rewrite their stories of victory after trauma. Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. Keep embracing your strength, cultivating resilience, and shining your light bright. You are capable of triumphing over any challenge life throws your way. Until next time, keep rising and thriving. You've got this.